And what's going is the impression is that I'm keeping my knee, anytime that my knee's high, he can paddle and swim. Anytime my knee's low, he can just up and crush it. So I kind of keep it in the dead zone. I like to cross my feet. This way, if he does try to back step out of it, at least I have a lock onto it. Where my legs are open, if he back steps, yeah, exactly right. So a little bit of a lock onto it. What I'm gonna do from here is very simple. Is I don't use my top hand. I always try and get to here. So this will make him either do one or two things. He'll either swing his hand backwards to try and get rid of the frame, which allows me to start to come through. Bop, got it? Grab, lock it in. So once I'm locked into here, it's quite a good mechanic. Now, if my partner's got good base, so see how his weight's still onto his left-hand side? My hand comes under, I simply get my hands together. And now, what you don't see is I've got to the knee bar position from here again, like what we've done, so I can simply drop my weight down onto the knee bar again. So kind of the theme, you know, we're hitting the knee bar, but off the sweep, this is a really nice deep half sweep. It's quite an easy one to kind of get into position. Okay? How'd that feel? Yeah. Good? Yeah. So what's going is the little feet cross, and I kind of, the more that I put the pressure on the hip, the harder it is for him to come in. So it's that frame here. Kick it, pop, come on and lock it up. Under and hands, stretch. So it's a really nice sweep. Once I land, I just put the pressure. Yeah, it's that knee bar. That knee bar's pretty much on already. Just. How it feel? Yeah, it's a really, and it's easy because you don't feel the knee bar to roll you over, and it's a bit too late to kind of deal with it. Ian, grab you please. You alright?
Yeah.
You know you're going to be on my YouTube channel, and people can hear stuff.
Yes, I know that.
Okay. So lock it out with the right hand. Lock it in. Hang on. The more that I do this, normally the more that I fight back. So as I fight back, kick it, come through, lock it in, and under. So I won't make it this okay. Yeah, I understand. Depending on your arms, if I can't get it here, I just grab that side. The legs long, come up. And what I'm doing from here is I'm going to start striking. So there's your knee bar already. Actually, the trouble is, he's got a lot of play time from here. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to put it down, so when my hips, when I go forward, the hips are nice and tight. He'll try and kick out from this, but because I've got the legs separated, it's really hard to do it. And if I'm not allowed to knee bars, I'll simply disengage and use this to come on top to pass. So the mechanic on that, it's one more time again. Because once you've actually got this mechanic, it's a really nice step over, really nice mechanic. So from here, knee shield in front with the feet crossed, blocking out this hand. Kick it, lock it, knee nudge, come under. So it's an outside hook, not an inside. So I'm on the attack, I'm not trying to get to that leg, just on this leg here. Under. Now what I'm doing is my right hand comes in. Right. Lock it, twist, I'm bringing him over me. So I make sure that he's floating, so kind of all his weight is up onto my head, squeeze. So here's the first knee bar. Like the knee bar's pretty much up. The downward, he's got a lot of play time where he can lift his feet up into the air. So to stop that, I'll put the leg onto the ground. Now he's got nowhere to push the leg out because he's locked into the ground. I simply squeeze, and the leg lock comes on. So when you're inside planning through, the locking mechanism is, so we're in the half guard. I'm going to spin you right round, so coming out other way, 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 other way. Okay. So it's in front and here. So I like this mechanic. So my bottom leg's hooked onto the top one. So when I kick through, the lock's tight. Where I find it's the other way, sometimes it's harder. So I like this mechanic. So the top leg's over my bottom leg. Here, kick it, drop it down low, nudge. So my foot, and all I'm going to do is straighten my foot to hook it, like that. Now, if you guys have sore shins, roll your hip towards the ceiling and then bite. And now, I change it to a calf slicer. So from here, this is the setup, so I come underneath. Think about this, guys. Slide your hips to your right, so flat on the back, bring them up. The higher that is up, there's less pressure. So I'm trying to throw him here, and now I can use that to start to get my calf slicer. He won't tap, well, shouldn't tap to that. So what he'll do is he's going to go to get our calf slicer, you straighten your leg. As he straightens his leg, that's the mechanic that I use to roll him over. Right. So then, what I do is I squeeze my knees, go as hard as I can. So I'm not dropping my hips yet. Squeeze your knees. Now, slowly put your palm on the ground, and that'll put the knee bar away pretty much straight away. So it's the knee squeeze that's more important than the kick out. But for the mechanic, can I grab you please, Tyson? So we're here, lock it in. So I've got the good pressure onto the hip, kick it, lock it up from here, nudge him forward. And if I'm having trouble, just come up and still get it from him. Now, this is the part that I see people have issues. You're trying to get it from here, which is really hard to do if he keeps his feet dug in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to lift my partner. And now. Pop it. And now. You've got so many, and because I've got the calf slicer, it's really hard for him to deal with. You can't chase my back, you always got to go that side. So for me, if they drop their weight down, I'm using this mechanic to up and lift, and that'll help get that bite onto it again. Check partners on the outside, what do you think? Thank you. I'm not paying for that though. Okay, good job. Okay. So from here, the knee lock, and I'm making sure that my bottom toes are facing up, so the locking mechanic's this way. Yep. Okay. Kick it behind, which means that the locking mechanic is already on. Slide forward, slide my knee. Now this is the part I want to put my left foot onto the ground and take both my knees to my left leg onto the ground. Before. You know, it's going to take him all the way over, and I've got a really nice fight, and that's going to give me the opportunity to start to roll him over. So the hardest part that I see people do is that they get this lock down here, but they try and drive him forward without getting a step. So I just take my foot off the ground. So I take my foot off his foot and onto the ground. What I'll do is I'm going to drive my knee, which is underneath his hips, forward, and that's going to carry his weight. So it's the knee that's doing the lift, not my foot. So I just need a wedge. So I'm not trying to do a bridge, it's just like my knee, but I want to back up here. So once I'm here, I use that mechanic to take him forward. Once I've locked it on from here, is to move a whip up, and I use that. So the knee bar's pretty much on really fast. And the thing about it is, I was so high onto his hips, I can calf slice as well. So this for me was a really nice way to, the guys that sit backwards on the hips, just that knee that's between legs, just really nudge them up high and get a really nice bite on the calf slicer. You can turn them over to get the sweep on the knee bar. In, come back in. Marco. Polo. Okay, so guys, that's a terrible joke, wasn't it? You know about Marco Polo? I bet you're great at that game.
I'll just
Mum and Dad at this video. Kick, lock it, foot goes in from here, but he's kind of keeping his way backwards, so I'm having trouble nudging him. Disengage, so create space and momentum to drive underneath. Right, now my knee that's between, so my left foot is still locked into the triangle position, but my foot goes on the ground. What I'm doing now is just slowly lift my right knee and carry him forward. Once we're here, I rebind. So I rebind, so my knees straight and foot pressure. So you have to react to it. Now the thing is, I can swing him to my right or to my left. So I can swing him to my right, or I can swing him to my left. So for me, that's always better. And I've still got the leg, so he can't turn to chase me. Right there in, squeeze, and just finish. So I'm still doing the same kind of knee bar and calf slicer from here. If you after points in AF and IF BJJ, block the hip, foot comes in, take your back control. Okay, Let's try that, guys. 1, 2, 3. Good work. Butterfly guard. Push. Create space. Bring my leg. Come here. Bring my leg in. Lock it up. So I've done all the hard work. I've just done it before. Grab. My foot goes on the ground. Nudge forward. Split him up. Calf slicer. Take him over. Knee bar. So from the butterfly guard.
What are you trying to say? There's no way. Yeah.
Punches onto his knees. I'm very right leg through heavy, and it's a journey because most people are going to pass my guard to my right, so I find myself in that position more than the other side. Not that it's better or worse, it's just that's the most common trait. So I need that. So I need my right hand backwards, so I have a frame system. If I push you here, I'm going to go backwards. So my right hand goes backwards, comes in, disengage. Slide, okay, and what I'm going to do is lock it up, pull forwards, knee behind, catch it. Come underneath, foot goes on the ground, drive forward, lift him up, grab it. There's the calf slicer for me. So my partner decides to come up onto his hands to stop the sweep. Right. Anytime that there's space, just come underneath the space. I've still got the slicer. So the issue that I had was people use the post, but I'm not going to strap. So I just use that as a mechanic to slide underneath the armpit and come out. So that was the biggest issues I had when I first started doing this. Mainly because I was still one of the smaller people and that they just post on their hands. The second one that I have, sorry, I'll grab you again, is, and this is kind of bizarre, like I do the same move from here, so I catch my partner, do the sweep, boom, 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 come on, here. What they do, they start to take their bottom to their heels. So as I'm trying to drive forward, I'm having a lot of issues with that. So all I do is I turn the corner. So if their bottoms to their heels, I'm going to go like 1, 2. I'm trying to drag their knee. So now he might post onto his right hand, bring him up, and we're back into the game again. You know what I mean? So I'm in perfect position to start. So we're just going to grab our partners again, same size. We're going to do the 2 tests. The legitimate test. Legit? Is it? Yeah? Is that what it's called? What's it? Oh. Litmus test. Litmus test. Hands, test out, and then thumb down, test out. See what I'm teaching guys is good at that.